Welcome to the Veteran Entrepreneur Network. I'm your host, Cameron Burrell, Army engineer veteran, entrepreneur, and fleet operations business owner. On this podcast, we talk trucking, logistics, fleet operations, entrepreneurship, business growth, leadership, and real-world lessons from the field. Let's get into today's episode.
A few months back, we took on a big yard cleanup, 50 trailers, same owner, and a day rate quoted verbally. By the third trailer, the crew found heavy oil stains and extra prep time. The customer assumed standard wash meant everything. We assumed it meant surface wash. We ended up doing extra labor at cost. The client was unhappy with an invoice markup, and what should have been a profitable one-day job turned into a loss and a strained relationship. Ask the long way people learned that the contract matters before the first wash or repair.
In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to give you field-tested language and a one-page checklist to take with you. You'll walk away with contract wording that protects margins, pricing and payment tactics to encourage on-time pay, and SLA plus onboarding strategies that reduce disputes and keep operations predictable. This is operations first, not legal advice, and I'll remind you to run anything binding by a lawyer in your state. Let's start with the foundation, scope of work and onboarding.
Section 1. Scope of work and onboarding. Contracts that protect margins begin with a clear, concise scope. Describe exactly what you deliver, the vehicle or trailer areas you will wash, the cleaning methods, detergents you will use, and the expected result. Example phrasing. Surface includes exterior pressure wash of trailer body and wheels, removal of loose debris, and spot treating of visible grime. Not included, heavy oil extraction, structural repairs, or interior cleaning unless separately quoted. Use bullet-style lists in your proposals so there's no room for interpretation.
Also define exclusions and responsibilities. Who moves trailers? Who provides water access? Where wastewater goes? And what conditions suspend service? For example, excessively muddy yards, severe weather, or unsafe vehicle conditions. Those operational details are what protect your crew and your margin. Onboarding is your defense against scope creep. Build a short checklist you use on the first visit. Photograph the fleet, note atypical issues, confirm access and contact person, and record any pre-existing damage. Include a one-page acceptance form the client signs after the first visit, acknowledging the scope and any exceptions. That signed note becomes your reference the next time a dispute starts.
Section 2. Pricing and payment terms that encourage on-time pay. Your pricing should reflect frequency and complexity. Use tiered pricing tied to cadence, for example, weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly tiers with clear per-vehicle rates. Example, weekly service, X dollars per trailer, includes up to Y minutes of labor per unit. Add-on services such as oil extraction billed at hourly rate Z dollars. Tie prices to measurable inputs so pushback is easier to handle.
Then, set payment terms that reduce late invoices. A few practical options. Require a deposit for large first jobs, offer a small discount for prepay or auto-pay enrollment, and set standard terms like net 15 for recurring accounts with automatic monthly invoicing. Make late fees clear but reasonable, say 1.5% per month after 30 days, and describe how service is paused after 60 days delinquent. Example sentence. Invoices due net 15. Accounts unpaid after 30 days will accrue interest at 1.5% per month. Service may be suspended for accounts past 60 days until payment arrangements are made. Invoicing cadence matters. Send invoices within 48 hours of service. Include photos from the onboarding checklist or that day's visit, and add a simple summary line. Service date, unit serviced, unit price, total, payment link, or ACH instructions. Visual proof reduces disputes and speeds payment. If you automate billing, state it plainly. Customer agrees to receive monthly electronic invoices and authorizes automatic ACH withdrawals on agreed dates.
Section 3. SLAs, KPIs, dispute workflow, and actionable takeaways. SLAs are not just for big tech companies. They set expectations and reduce finger pointing. For mobile fleet services, keep SLAs simple and measurable. Response time for additional service requests, makeup service windows, and acceptable uptime for scheduled services. Example: standard scheduling window. Services provided between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. on scheduled dates. Makeup services for missed appointments will be scheduled within 5 business days, subject to availability. Pick 2 KPIs to track with each account: on-time completion rate and invoice days outstanding, DSO. Report these monthly to your internal team and key clients if appropriate. Transparency builds trust and makes renewals easier. Tie outcomes to renewals by including a renewal consideration clause. If KPI thresholds are met, offer a price hold or a small loyalty discount. If not, reserve the right to renegotiate terms.
Dispute workflows should be fast and documented. Include steps in the contract. 1. Client submits issue within 7 days of service with photos. 2. Provider acknowledges within 2 business days. 3. Provider proposes remediation within 5 business days or schedules a makeup visit. Keep the language focused on resolution. The goal is to fix the problem and keep the client. That process preserves relationships and limits escalation.
Recap and quick checklist you can use today. 1. Define scope in plain language with explicit exclusions. 2. Require onboarding documentation and a signed acceptance form on first visit. 3. Set tiered pricing tied to cadence and publish simple payment terms. Offer incentives for prepay or autopay. 4. Implement SLAs with measurable KPIs and a 3-step dispute resolution. 5. Send invoices within 48 hours with photos and a clear payment link. Implement these in phases. Don't roll out every change at once. Start with the onboarding checklist and invoice timing this week.
A couple of professional reminders. This episode is operations focused, not legal counsel. Before you lock these terms into a binding contract, consult an attorney licensed in your state to confirm enforceability and compliance with local law. Also, when introducing new terms to existing clients, use a phased approach. Present the benefits, offer a loyalty window, and be ready to negotiate exceptions that are operationally feasible.
If this episode helped you, grab the 1-page contract checklist and 3 SLA templates linked in the show notes. Share your toughest contract language or a yard-side story on our socials. I read those and sometimes feature them in future episodes. Follow the Veteran Entrepreneur Network on Instagram and LinkedIn for templates, sample wording, and upcoming deep dives into recurring revenue models for mobile fleets. Real-world business, real strategies, real results.
Outro. Thanks for listening to the Veteran Entrepreneur Network. If today's episode brought you value, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with another entrepreneur, owner-operator, or business professional. Keep building, keep learning, and keep moving forward. We'll see you on the next episode.